Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why you should buy a boat. And I'm not going to go over any reasons why you shouldn't today. That's another video for another time, probably next week. But we're going to talk about 5 reasons why you should. As you can see, we're out here on our beautiful Lund 16-foot boats. Let's get into it and we'll talk about why you should buy a boat. We'll talk about why you shouldn't and all the things. But let's jump into it. It is cold out here today. It's like 18 degrees. I'm freezing, so we're going to hurry up. So reason number 1, it's real simple. You can afford it. If you can't afford to buy a boat, I'm sorry, but you probably shouldn't. And when I say you can afford it, I don't mean you can afford the monthly payment. I'm talking about you can buy whatever boat you're looking at, pay cash or whatever, and you can just get your boat and not worry about it. I do not want you going and financing a boat for 12 years. I don't care what the salesman says. I don't care what your friends say. I don't care what anybody in your life says. Don't go do that. Go buy a boat you can afford. Yes, you can buy a boat for reasonable money. I paid $1,150 for the boat I'm sitting in today. It runs, it operates, everything works. I've done a lot of work to the boat since I bought it, but as I bought it, I could use it like it was, and I did use it like it was for a year before I put much major work into it. Now I'm on year 3. I built a trailer for the boat. I put a trolling motor on the boat. I've worked on the motor a bunch. I put a fish finder on the boat, which we're going to cover all that here in a minute. But the main gist of it is, please go buy a boat you can afford. I watched a video about a guy, a young guy, maybe my age, maybe a little bit younger than me, the other day. He was super happy. He bought a brand new Tracker bass boat. You know, it's like a Tracker Deep V boat, just like what I've got here, 16 foot, except it was a tiller handler, you know, no console, none of that stuff. Super nice boat, nice trolling motor. I mean, he paid like 16 grand, right? Super nice boat. I was like, yeah, you got a good deal. Until he got to the financing section of the video where he talks about what he pays monthly, which, you know, his monthly payment was like 200 bucks, nothing. All right, but he financed it for 12 years, and I think it was like 10% interest. And it got to the point where at the end of the video, he was like, yeah, you know, if I make monthly payment, which I love because it's super low and I can just make the payment and not worry about it, I'm going to be spending, I think it's like $29,000 on this boat that's going to be worth less than 5 grand when he gets it paid off. That is not a good investment. That's not a good idea. I don't want you to go do that. If you can't go pay cash for a boat, save up a little bit more money and go pay cash for a boat. Buy something you can pay cash for. I can go buy a John boat for less than $500 all day long. I know there's 2 listed on my local sales network, which is where I bought this boat from, for 350 bucks. Go buy one of those, you know. Go get an inflatable boat. I'm going to do a video about an inflatable boat I've got. Go get a kayak. I paid $100 for that kayak behind me. I got 2 videos about that kayak on my channel already. Go get a kayak. Go do something like that. You know, don't go spend 12 years of your life paying off a boat. Please don't go do that. You don't have to do that to get out on the water. So with that out of the way, that was the big elephant in the room. That's the biggest thing. Buy a boat you can afford. If you can't afford it, please don't buy it. Reason number 2 why you should buy a boat is if you want to get out, away from the bank, away from the crowds, away from the crowded, you know, small ponds that you fish in your city, all those things. That's the second reason you should buy a boat. You shouldn't go buy a boat if you, let's see, are 3 hours away from your local closest lake that you can take a big boat out on. Don't go buy a boat if that's what you're going to do. Please, you know, if you don't live close to a nice body of water to take a boat out on, please don't go buy it. I can be at a lake with this boat in 15 minutes from my house that I can fish all day long. I can be at a lake that's electric only, take the trolling motor. I can be at a big lake where I can use the big motor in 15 minutes. I can be to every single good fishing lake. I don't want to say good, they're all good. Most of the good lakes in Tennessee where I live within an hour and a half. Most of them in 45 minutes. Rivers, lakes, places to fish, you name it. I can go any direction from my house in 45 minutes or less and be on the water. I live in a good area to have a boat. There's water everywhere around me. Tennessee is a wonderful state to live in to fish. If you live somewhere where it takes you 2 hours to drive to the lake, it's probably not a good idea to buy a boat because you're going to use it once, twice a year, and it's going to sit the whole time. Don't do that. Okay, buy a boat if you live somewhere where you can use it. I take one trip to Florida every year, right? I fish for a week or 3 or 4 days in Florida. I take a family vacation down there. I fish 3 or 4 days. I spend time with my family, do all those things. I'm not going to go buy a boat that's saltwater only and take it out when I'm only down there. I'm not doing that. I take the kayaks that the house we stay in has, and I fish on the kayak off the canal, stuff like that. I do what I can down there. I'm not taking my boat down there. I'm not buying a boat for down there. Don't be that guy who buys a boat and uses it once a year. Please don't do that. Buy the boat and use it. Love it, because boats are fun. They are meant to be fun. They get you off the bank. They get you out in the lake. They get you in places you could never go as a bank angler. Most of the lakes I fish, I could never go half the places that I go fishing on this boat, because you just can't walk around there and be there. And so that is the second reason why you should buy a boat. Now, the third reason is going to require me getting out of my seat. And reason number 3 is pretty simple. You just need a bit more space for all your fishing junk and to take somebody fishing with you. Let's say you've got a kayak already, or you're a bank angler and you take buddies fishing, but you want to be able to get out onto some actual water and do some fishing, and you want some more space. A boat is a great way to do that. With my 16-foot boat here, I can step up on the front and fish. I can take a buddy who can fish on the back, and we have plenty of room. We're not going to get in each other's way. I've got this nice trolling motor right here. We can fish all day long and just have a good time. So if you need a bit more room than your kayak, or a bit more room than, just fishing from the bank, a boat is a great way to do that. And a small fishing boat like this, they can be found for super cheap. Like I said, I paid $1,150 for this one. It's not a crazy huge boat. If I got to have room, I'll take something like the deck boat behind me, which is my dad's boat. But buy a boat that suits your needs. Don't go buy a huge boat if you're fishing by yourself. The boat I have here is perfect for me to go by myself. I can load and unload easy by myself. I don't have any issues fishing this boat by myself or with people or whatever. I got plenty of storage. In here I can fish, I can troll, all those things I can do just from the nature of having this nice little boat. So if you need a bit more room than your kayak or whatever it is you're fishing from now, that would be another reason to buy a boat. Reason number 4 is you like to work on things. I mentioned it earlier. I built a new trailer put on this boat last year. I had a trailer laying around that I used as a baseline. I built it, put it under the boat, upgraded my trailer majorly. I built this little thing for the trolling motor here, which just adds where that trolling motor can kind of mount over the side of the bow here. I added this fish finder, which was a little bit of work. I've worked on the engine a ton on this old boat. But you like to work on things, because as a boat owner, if you don't buy a brand new boat, you're going to spend a whole lot of time working on it. And so you need to enjoy a little bit of working on your boat and working on things. As you can see, my old boat here is just old and very nice old boat, and it's very good and very fun to work on. But you need to enjoy working on things if you are going to own an old boat like this, because you're going to have to work on things. You're going to have to do things to it. You're going to have to get comfortable with that. So reason number 4 for me is, if you enjoy working on things, it allows you to work on something that's fishing adjacent while not also just spending all your time fishing. This is something I can work on when it's cold, like it is right now. I think it's like 18 degrees outside right now. I do all these different things whenever I have the time and the ability to do so. I can come out here at night, work on my boat, just enjoy spending time working on the boat, building something fun. And then I'm going to add some lights up here in the next couple of months. And it's just a lot of an enjoyable thing. So if you enjoy working on things, a boat is a great project for you to do that with, as long as you get a good base like I have here of a good sturdy boat. All right, we're going to talk about our 5th and final reason why you should buy a boat. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to subscribe, like it, comment, do all those things. It helps me out. I'm just trying to get this channel off the ground here. Picked a terrible time of year to do it. It's winter time here in Tennessee, and it is cold. But the 5th and final reason why you should buy a boat is you have somewhere to put it. You need to keep your boat in the dry. That is the best thing you can do for a boat, is keep it somewhere where it can't get rained on, it can't be ruined by the weather, the elements can't get to it, and all that stuff. You got to keep it in the dry if you want to have your boat last you any amount of time whatsoever. Certain aluminum boats can sit outside, but you need somewhere to put it. So I've got here, fortunately for me, this big shed that's attached to my house. So I can just back the boat in here. It's good and safe. My dad's got a boat back there, and nothing's going to get to it. The elements are going to keep away from it. The rain, everything's going to keep off from it, and it's going to keep my boat in good condition, because you have wood in here. You've got wood in here. You don't want all that stuff rotten. You don't want to be rebuilding your boat every year or two. You want to take care of it. You want it to last. You want your transom to last. You want all these things to last. So the last 5th reason why you should buy a boat is if you have somewhere to put it. Now, if you don't have somewhere to put it, in my opinion, you should not even be looking at a boat. That's just my opinion. And I don't think you need to be looking at it if you're going to keep it on the water unless you just have lots of money, because starting out, without a whole lot of money, you're going to spend like 3 to 5 grand a year on a boat slip. And that is just a ton of money to be able to keep a boat. So if you don't have somewhere maybe at your house or whatever, unless you just got plenty of money, I definitely recommend waiting until you can afford it to buy a boat. Waiting until you have storage, waiting you have that ability. There are other options if you don't have storage. I have an inflatable boat, which I'm going to make a video about. I've got this kayak back here, which I have made videos about. There are other options if you don't have storage or you don't have the ability to keep a boat that get you off the bank, okay? But if you can't store a boat or you don't have anywhere to put a boat, please don't go buy a boat, because that is a very, very bad idea. Buying it, sitting it outside on our tarp, they're going to ruin. That's how you see a lot of boats that need floors. That's how they need a lot of problems. They have a lot of problems because people have set them outside and let them ruin. So please, if you're going to buy a boat, make sure you've got somewhere to put it. That's your 5th reason why you should buy a boat. And I'll throw in an extra one in there. You should buy a boat if you enjoy boats. That's an easy one. If you think it'll be fun, you should buy a boat because they are fun. I love fishing off the boat. I love my little boat. I couldn't imagine getting rid of it. I'm going to have to get a bigger one as my family has grown. But for me personally, I love fishing off a boat. I love my boat, and I can't see a time where I've not on a boat. My family's always had boats. I grew up on boats, and so if you think you're going to enjoy a boat, get a boat. They're awesome. I love my boat. But next video is going to be about 5 reasons why you should not buy a boat. I'm going inside, though. It's cold. Thank you guys for watching.